Good morning, everybody. Welcome this Monday morning. In the morning crypto talk, Bitcoin. Brandon from Los Angeles, California. Thank you for being here today. The beginning of a new week, but it is a holiday. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Go ahead and type in the chat box where you're listening in from. Give the thumbs up button on the YouTube channel. I see we have Mafus from Laurel, Maryland, Court Gomes, Bethany Gibbs, Seattle, Jamar Lopes, Shane West, Chicago, Tracy Kubish is in Bay City, Michigan, huh? You willingly went somewhere where it's cold. Shauna Ross, Lynette Rubel, Oklahoma, Stan Williams, Tampa, Florida. Chantal from Belgium, welcome. Desmond Hines, Columbia, South Carolina. As a disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I read the news, I give my opinion, I share a suggestion, and it is up to you to make an informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to move into. Good morning, Barbara Brown from Vallejo, California. There's 4 rules I live by in the crypto space to have success. Rule number 1, education is key. Education is everything. Rule number 2, never invest money you cannot afford to lose. Rule number 3, always get your return on investment back as fast as possible. And rule number 4, where do you see yourself in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? What are you willing to do to make it happen? Make a decision, find a vehicle like KGX, take action, and stay focused. Do not get distracted. There's so many things out there that can distract you in this space. Remember, you have limited resources. Now, this is not going to guarantee you success, but it will at least minimize your risk. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the most that we can ask for. So let's go ahead and get this set up. I see Ron Ross from Charlotte, North Carolina, Rohan, Atlanta, Georgia. We have a lot of articles I'm going to cover today, actually 5. I'm going to kick this week off right. All right, you should be able to see my screen. Of course, we're going to start off by looking at the market. The market, if you guys saw when did I do this? Was it yesterday? I don't think I did a crypto talk last night. So yesterday morning, I noticed that the market lost $5 billion after I did the special KGX private meeting where we talked about trading, and I predicted that it was a soft cat bounce and that you might want to move your coins into Tether. and I know it's going to go below 3,000 eventually. I don't know when. However, I did not even heed my own warning because I didn't look at the chart again, went off, was doing other stuff. And you see here, it did exactly what I said it was going to do. It dropped down to 3,500. So right now, the market's at 119.6 billion. BTC dominance 52.4 billion. It's kind of flatlined a bit in the last 24 hours, still at 3583 according to CoinMarketCap. Poloniex, though, has it at, let's see, 3539, a little bit in the green there, 0.33% as of right now, real-time data. So it is moving in the little positive direction right now. But the rest of the market looks just pretty much flat. Tron is up 6.5%. Well, best performers, Ugaira coin. This one is funny to me. I mean, it's always doing a pump and dump. It's either the best performer or the worst performer on any given week. So those that's trading with this, you might make some good money if you're watching it day to day. 10x, 16%. Tron, 6.5%. So Tron's the only top coin. Pundi X is 4.2%. All right, that's the worst performers. Aurora, negative almost 13%. Augur, any top coin. Bitcoin, Gold, Ethereum is down negative 1.04%. So pretty much flat line right now. Now the next question is, with this latest downturn, how low will it go? When you look at the chart, how it went up, came back down, how low will it go? What's the sell wall telling us? 3480 is the wall. On that side, 3561, 3600, I'll say 3600. So it should be bouncing around in between here. If it falls below 3500, then it can slide. It's going to take a lot to get it down to below 3000. It's got to be up here. And so far, the buy wall is a little higher that low than the sell wall, which is at, if you pass 3632, it can slide up to about 3800, which is where it didn't reach. Remember, 2 days ago when I did that private trading presentation, I was waiting for it to get to 3800, and then I was going to move my stuff into Tether. When I should have went ahead and did it at 3700. I got a little greedy. It didn't need to. Now I'm riding the thing all the way down. So we'll see what the next mark is going to be. All right, so I've got 5 articles here. I'm not going to be long on all of them. Let me see which one that I thought. Well, here's one interesting. Why is $1 billion Bitcoin giant Bitfury building a blockchain music service? Music. Now, I've been saying this. You guys know I'm so excited about the technology that's coming within the blockchain and crypto space for 2019. 2018, you've seen the foundation happen all over the place. You see a lot of Fortune 500 companies trying to make their mark in the blockchain space and add the technology. I'm predicting 2019, you're going to see a lot of tech stuff, cool stuff. Network marketing company known as World Global, or WGN, just instituted blockchain for something they're doing. Saw it on Business for Home. I think this is going to be, well, Bitcoin needs to move up before the entire network marketing industry decides to move everything and pay out commissions in Bitcoin. That might not happen this year based on the price of Bitcoin right now, because most of those people aren't educated in the first place, especially the CEOs, even though they're invested in it. But I'm also excited about stuff like, what about phone bills, cable, services that we're paying monthly for? Guess what? The future is going to be, we're going to eliminate your monthly subscriptions. In fact, it's going to get to the point where these companies are going to pay you to use their service. There's already apps that's paying you to walk, counting your steps. There's going to be health apps that's going to reward you for eating healthy or exercising healthy. There's going to be phone apps or phone companies that's going to pay you to talk on the phone. How would you like to have no phone bill for the next 5 years? Next, you're going to see the cable companies doing the same thing, streaming all your services on the blockchain. Netflix will be the first to do it, or a competitor that wants to compete with Netflix will pop up to compete and do it. This is all going to happen. That's why I pay close attention, because I want to invest in this kind of stuff. So, what is the music service doing? Did I post this link? I do not recall, so I will make sure I do it. I just lost the article. Oh yeah, here we go. All right. The Big Furry Group, an early Bitcoin mining firm turned global blockchain company based out of London, has announced that it will launch an entertainment division tasked with developing an open source music platform that runs on blockchain technology. From mining Bitcoin to tracking music IP on a blockchain, tech companies trying to make waves in the music industry is nothing new. Bitfury is a significant player in the blockchain industry. However, which makes this foray particularly interesting. The aim of decentralizing the music industry has long been a pipe dream, but could now be closer to reality. The open source platform labeled Surround TM would purportedly simplify the safe transferal of copyright assets. I predicted this 2 years ago. All your music, you're not going to need to have record labels anymore to get your music out there. And you're going to have full control over it, because the blockchain controls all your transactions, your stuff. It's not copying music anymore. You're actually transferring data. Transfer of ownership of data, in other words. At the very core of the project is the creation of an environment that allows musicians to manage their affairs far more efficiently. This includes monitoring their output, being able to see what works, and most importantly, what doesn't. According to Bitfury, Surround TM will lead the way in promoting innovation within the music industry. Speaking to Reuters, Bitfury Surround CEO Stefan Schultz commented, "There is a very strong momentum for an open entertainment-related blockchain where market participants themselves would be participating in the market venue, not only from a transactional point of view. The platform itself will look to provide a digital system for both monetizing and sharing intellectual property. Based out of Europe, with a presence in Amsterdam and Berlin, offices in Tokyo, LA, Moscow, and Seoul are set to follow." Schultz, a veteran of the entertainment and music industry, said that although the actual platform is being put together and developed as we speak, it wouldn't be near completion for quite a while. Bitfury isn't the only major firm to eye blockchain as a solution to copyright management. Via a licensing agreement, Kodak's blockchain platform also offers photographers the ability to register their images and secure their intellectual property. Bitfury becomes Bitcoin mining's latest unicorn. Recently valued at $1 billion, the Bitfury Group raised $80 million from investors late last year, including Mike Novogratz-led merchant bank Galaxy Digital. The former Fortress Investment Group hedge fund manager's contribution helped push Bitfury's valuation into the blockchain unicorn category, inhabited by firms such as Bitmain, Coinbase, and Circle. This move right here is going to make them one of the largest companies in the world, if they can pull it off long term. The music industry being disrupted by blockchain technology. All right, next up, where's the Fortnite one? My son is sitting right here next to me playing it. Oh, not that one. Criminals are using Fortnite to launder funds. Fortnite, I mean, I grew up playing first-person shooter type games. I'm looking at Fortnite. I really kind of don't get it. It's like a first-person shooter of Minecraft, another game I don't get. But my kids, I mean, they love it. Well, I don't understand as well. You know, when I grew up, we didn't grow up wanting to watch other people play a game. We wanted to play. And my son, he's got his Fortnite stream to his YouTube channel, and he's got all these people that watch him play a video game. I'm like, what? They're sitting there watching you play? Not my generation. Give me the control, man. It's my turn. I got next. I got a quarter on the arcade. Move out the way. All right, so what's going on with Fortnite? Going to be considered probably one of the most successful video game franchises in history. This game right here, a game that is free to play. Where do they make their money? Picture this now. In-game items that you purchase. That's how they make their money. It's not on you buying the game anymore. It's not on subscriptions. It's on you paying money to get in-game stuff, in-game loot. That was unheard of. Well, I guess the technology wasn't there when I was a kid. When I was a kid, if we wanted to have a stronger character, we actually had to earn it based on our skill set. Today, these kids advance not based on skill set, but based on how much money they can spend. A different world, I guess. There are a few video games around the world that can boast the following that Fortnite offers. The game now has over 200 million users. Wow. And counting. Fortnite, which falls into the freemium category of gaming, brought in over $3 billion for its developer, Epic Games, in 2018 alone. This stuff is going to be like bigger. The video game industry is bigger than the movie industry. However, there are reports that the creators of the games aren't the only ones getting rich. Many users are increasingly using V-Bucks, which is the official in-game currency for Fortnite, as a method for laundering money through the dark web. I forgot the name of this show. It was like a terrorist show, miniseries. And the terrorists were using the video games to move money around and to communicate with each other, because it wasn't being monitored by, you know, the CIA, FBI, and all that stuff. That's right, Tracy. My son's playing it right now on my other screen, sitting right next to me. So they're laundering money, huh? So how does the money laundering happen? Based on research, hackers are purchasing the in-game currency with stolen credit cards. From that point, the V-Bucks are then resold to players at a discount. Oh, okay. So they have in their own little in-market game. They're selling V-Bucks at a discount. This is the method through which the currency is laundered. These devious activities were first discovered by cybersecurity company Sixgill. The firm uncovered these nefarious methods by acting as though they were potential users who wanted to participate in transactions with the criminals. Essentially, criminals are performing credit card fraud and using Fortnite as a way to get money in and out without punishment. Currently, it's not clear just how much money these scammers have made from using this type of process. This is primarily due to the amount of money which continues to flow around Fortnite, especially considering the game continues to see exponential growth. It makes a lot of sense that criminals will target Fortnite. The online battle royale has been a massive hit. It has attracted hundreds of millions of users since its inception. Unfortunately, many of the users on the Fortnite platform are teenagers and kids. These youngsters are often impressionable and can be taken advantage of easily. You know, today is Martin Luther King Day, and I highlight the fact that he is a Morehouse man. And when I was in Morehouse in the 90s, 1994, I remember our computer lab for the first time. This was before internet as we know it today. So there was no such thing as high-speed internet and stuff. And we had what's called intranet, where in the computer lab, all of the computers were linked together. And then they had it set up where it was actually linked to the computer lab on Spelman's campus and the computer lab on Clark's campus. Now, it wasn't that the technicians did that. The students figured out how to link all of them together. So we would have Doom. You guys remember that game, Doom? We would have Doom tournaments in the computer lab with the schools, because we all, if you're on the intranet, we all could be playing with each other. And that was our version of like MMO, massively multiplayer online gaming, for example. Doom. So I guess Fortnite is like Doom, except instead of 40, 50 players, 200 million. How far technology has come. Goodbye, Bitcoin. Hello, V-Bucks. Those in cryptocurrency know how important it is that Bitcoin is viewed as a means of exchange and a store of value. However, the digital currency has been viewed in a negative light due to the amount of criminal activity performed on the network. According to crypto studies, over $2.5 billion in Bitcoin was laundered between 2009 and 2018. Epic Games insists on eliminating the V-Buck laundering problem before it gets too big to be properly addressed. The company has stated that it takes the issue seriously and has no intention of allowing the type of behavior that puts its users or its business at risk. Of course, players can help address these types of scams by turning on two-factor authentication. They can also protect themselves by changing their passwords frequently, not reusing passwords often, or selecting stronger passwords. Lastly, the company recommends that players not share account information with anyone else in the game. I mean, the gaming industry and this blockchain and stuff, and it is limitless. You start thinking of AI technology and virtual reality and augmented reality. Go look at the video, the movie Ready Player One. Ready Player One. Oh, Zelda Mafuz has nothing on this. So you're going back to the 80s with that. There's nothing on this. But think of Ready Player One. There's on Netflix, there's a cartoon, anime, I guess. I watched with my son called Art Online. I think it's called Art Online or something like that. Where it's a virtual reality world where you put on this headset and you're in the world with millions of other people. That's the future. Not just in playing video games, but our lives. This is what Back to the Future didn't really get. The world is smaller now. You will be able to have a board meeting from your living room by putting on this headset device, and your virtual avatar is transported into a building like Matrix. It's like Matrix. It's coming. The technology is already here. All right, let's see some other news here. Demise of euro could trigger a devastating collapse. We covered Brexit, how Brexit is messing up with the British economy. So what's happening here? The financial market is unstable and currencies collapse around the world. European Central Bank run out of ways to keep the market up, and now euro might be in trouble. Why is euro in trouble? The market strategizes Russell, not Pierre, said that euro is in trouble. The market strategies, okay? He told the Financial Times that our financial system shows serious vulnerabilities, and the demise of euro may trigger the collapse of the financial system. Major regions within the eurozone, including Germany, France, and Italy, struggles to deal with the declining rate of overall growth. Another issue is the weakened performance of large financial institutions. Matt Pierre says, the key consequence of this collapse will be the destruction of the euro. The expected success of the far right and far left in the European parliamentary election in May this year augurs the beginning of the end for the currency union. Both extremes share a commitment to the return of sovereignty to their parliament that is incompatible with a single currency. The analyst is not the only one who sees a weakened financial situation. A British politician stated a while back that banks are broke. Godfrey William Bloom explained that the system in itself is not healthy. It also leads to a moral, political hazard. If any regular man or woman printed money like the banks are doing, they would go to prison. Central banks do it all the time. However, Napier argues that ECB and the EU authorities might impose strict capital controls in the short term. It may be good for the short term, but affect the long-term performance of the euro. While strict capital controls and restriction on both individuals and businesses to send the euro outside of the eurozone may prevent the devaluation of the euro, it could also cause domestic companies to suffer. Local companies with diversified portfolios or plans to expand outside of the eurozone are likely to run into difficulties. The inflow of capital from the US and Asia into the European market could also decrease. What will happen to euro and fiat currencies? Pay attention to this one. Some analysts believe that the eurozone will not face a devastating recession this year. I agree. I think it's not going to happen until 2020. They believe that the eurozone economy is expected to grow by 1.5% by the fourth quarter of 2019. However, with the ECB struggling to find tools to stimulate the eurozone economy and domestic firms seeking weakness in many areas, the European economy could experience a gradual decline over the long run. He adds, throughout the past few weeks, the euro has demonstrated losses against both the Canadian and the US dollar, leading traders to fear for the short-term trend of the currency. What will happen to fiat currencies is impossible to say. However, there are signs that the financial situation in many countries is not ideal. There are riots in France, where the yellow vests try to collapse the banks through bank runs. China tries to counter their declining economy by injecting $82 billion. The news is clear. The economy needs help, said Trinh Nguyen, senior economist for emerging Asia at Natixis in Hong Kong. Then we have other analysts like the billionaire Tim Draper, who argues that the crypto will surpass fiat in the years to come. He explained that Bitcoin could reach 250,000 by 2022 if we think globally. He bases this prediction not only on strict economists, but in the paradigm shift that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies represent. For Draper, this paradigm shift means thinking globally. While thinking globally, maybe the financial markets are not our biggest issue. If you ask the legendary investor Jeremy Grantham, he states that humanity is the biggest bubble of all. Humanity is the biggest. I saw that article somewhere and I didn't read that. Humanity is the biggest bubble of all. Jeremy is famous for predicting the dot-com bubble, as well as the global financial crisis of 2008. His latest prediction is that civilization will become the next big crisis, which are a lot bigger than just economics. That is an article. I'm going to go back. I'm not going to read it today. Yeah, this came out a couple of days ago. Financial market is not in a bubble. Humanity is. Oh, it's short. I'll read it right now since I'm on the topic. Let me put the link in. This is the first time I kind of heard it that way. Humanity is in a bubble. What does that mean? So just so you know, Jeremy Grantham is an investor and the co-founder of Grantham Mayo Von Otterlo, GMO. He says that if it were possible, he would short humanity since we are not taking care of our world. He argues that we are in an environmental bubble that is about to crash. Bloomberg recently released an article about Jeremy Grantham. Jeremy is a legend when it comes to investing and devotes 98% of his net worth, $1 billion, to humanity. Grantham and his wife, Han, want to help the world escape catastrophe. They even give $30 million a year to several nonprofit organizations. He travels all around the world to give talks about the subject. The talk, Race of Our Lives. Let the audience know about the race between the Earth's rapidly warming temperature and the human beings coming up with ways to fight and adapt to climate change. Grantham argues that capitalism is the best system in many ways, but it would need some heavy regulation. He said, while capitalism does a million things better than any other system, it fails on long-term threats such as climate change. You must not expect unnecessary good behavior from capitalists. That is true. I agree 100%. While giving away $1 billion, Grantham's planning to make even more money, and he's hoping climate change offers the opportunity. In April 2017, GMO, which manages about $70 billion, launched a climate change fund. Financial bubbles are not as important as the humanity bubble. Jeremy is famous for predicting the dot-com bubble as well as the global financial crisis of 2008. His latest prediction is that civilization will become the next big crisis, which are a lot bigger than just economics. In his view, the real threat of climate change is agriculture. The topsoil disappears at a rate of 1% a year, and there are only 30 to 70 good harvest years left. Farmers will struggle to feed the planet if nothing is done. According to Jeremy, he adds, even without climate change, it would be somewhere between hard and impossible to feed 11.2 billion people. If that's the curve in the stock market, you know what to do. Panic and go short. That, Bill Gates is thinking the same thing. And I get nervous when I start hearing numbers like this from people that's powerful, because they always start to back a term called eugenics. Eugenics. I don't have time to go into that. Do your own research on that. You've got very, very powerful people in the world who believe for the earth to survive and for humanity to survive, we need to wipe out half of the population. It is growing to unsustainable numbers. More people have been born and the population in size over the last 100 years than in all of human history combined up to 1880 or 1900, something like that. An entire explosion in population over the last 100 years. It took all of millennium to get to 1 billion people. It took 100 years to jump from 1 billion to 7 billion. What is it going to look like in the next 50 years? What's the world's population size? That'd be interesting. I have not done that in 20 years since college. Studied that. What will the population be in 2050, in 2100? You're right, Tracy. I'm not even going in that direction. Most people avoid the subject, but if we do not do anything, things will become even worse. Jonathan Foley states that companies should discuss the matter. He says, we can't pretend there are no limits to the planet. You need to address the seriousness of this without triggering people to become fatalistic. Interesting. And stuff like this plays out in the movies. You see disaster movies all the time where humanity's being wiped out. The last one where you see this same theme, Avengers, Infinity War. What was Thanos trying to do? He wasn't just trying to wipe out half of humanity. He was wiping out half of all life in the universe. Because he said the universe, it can't be sustained. The universe is infinite. But planet Earth is finite. There's only so many resources. And there's going to be too many mouths to feed. What are we going to do? All right, enough of that scaring everybody. Last couple of articles up. Let's see. Which one I want to do first? Number of Bitcoin ATMs hit 4,000 globally. So why is it growing so rapidly? Duh. What do you think? What did I always say to people? You may not like or care about crypto, but when you start driving around, you're going to start seeing Bitcoin ATM machines all over the place. According to a report released by Value Walk, the number of Bitcoin ATMs worldwide has surpassed 4,000, and the market is still growing rapidly. The increase in the number of Bitcoin ATMs comes in a period during which cryptocurrency businesses are prioritizing compliance, dealing with strict know your customer and anti-money laundering policies. What's the factors behind the increase in demand for Bitcoin? You know what? I asked a question the other day, and it just hit me that we have the answer. The question was, we're talking about the hacks of the exchanges. Cryptopia getting hacked. Binance, Bittrex, Poloniex, Bitfinex, all getting hacked and your data stolen. Them taking the KYC and AML information, your data, and selling it on the dark web. How to avoid that? It's almost unavoidable. But what if you don't need the exchanges to be able to trade within crypto or buy and sell crypto? Bitcoin ATMs. On January 20th, CCN reported that Shapeshift, a Switzerland-based cryptocurrency exchange, received 18 subpoena requests from the U.S. authorities in 2018. All of the number of requests received by Shapeshift was far less than that of Kraken, a major digital asset trading platform that received 315 subpoena requests from the U.S. government last year. It was relatively high given the fact that Shapeshift is not a U.S. corporation. The U.S. government filed 66% of all subpoena requests received by Kraken, which serves 80% of its users outside the U.S. The rise in the demand for and popularity of crypto ATMs coincides with the G20's efforts to regulate the cryptocurrency sector with tightened regulatory frameworks. Most major cryptocurrency markets in the likes of Japan and South Korea have implemented new policies in regards to transaction monitoring, user surveillance, and fraud prevention since 2017. Bitcoin ATMs provide an alternative to strictly regulated cryptocurrency exchanges by allowing both buyers and sellers to purchase or sell cryptos like Bitcoin with minimum identification and KYC requirements. But there are some downsides to Bitcoin ATMs, especially for regular and experienced users. The fees on Bitcoin ATM transactions are percentage-based in most cases, leading to substantially higher fees than on cryptocurrency exchanges. I would pay that fee knowing that my account ain't going to get hacked. All right. Most Bitcoin ATMs also have low daily limits for buyers and sellers, this allowing individuals from buying or selling large amounts of Bitcoin at a time to prevent the uses of ATMs in money laundering. Speaking to Value Walk, Straight Up Capital managing partner Sean Keefe said that Bitcoin has the potential to become a key part of the e-commerce sector, which may contribute to the increasing demand for Bitcoin ATMs. E-commerce is over. Cryptocurrency is the future. I don't say e-commerce is over. I say that cryptocurrency is the next evolution of e-commerce. It's still e-commerce. Companies like Overstock.com are only doing Bitcoin transactions, and other digital conglomerates like Amazon and Facebook know the war chest is coming. Just like AOL.com was a brand name in the mid-90s, Bitcoin is just the start of many brands to come that will offer the same service. It's only a matter of time before everyone will have a Bitcoin option on their mobile devices. What? Say that again. It's only a matter of time before everyone will have a Bitcoin option on their mobile device. Brandon, why are you talking about SIM cards? Brandon, why are you telling people that they can eliminate their phone bill for 5 years? I said this last year. One way or another, in 2019, I will be involved in this space. It's just a no-brainer. It's inevitable. How do I get crypto education in front of the masses? How do I get crypto awareness in front of the masses and the need for it? You target what they're using on a daily basis, what they're spending 40% of their time on, their phone. Whoever is not doing that is not having a smart business. It's just smart business sense. You target people's phone. That's what I'm doing. In South Korea, for instance, Despite being one of the largest cryptocurrency markets along with the US, Japan, and Europe, the usage of Bitcoin ATMs has declined throughout the last 2 years. Bitcoin ATM companies such as CoinPlug have pivoted to operating a regulatory cryptocurrency exchange with previously obtained capital from venture capital firms. A key to the long-term success of Bitcoin ATMs is to lower the transaction fees and to provide reasonable conversion rates. But due to high maintenance costs, it remains uncertain whether these issues can be addressed in the months to come. Last article up. Why crypto is en route to the longest bear market in history. Now, that is saying something because before 2014 to 2016 was a bear market. Let's look at some evidence. Go to CoinMarketCap, pull up Bitcoin. Let's look at the chart. So let's go way back. All right. All the way up into 2012. Wait. Is that 2012 or 2013? Yeah, 2012. Bitcoin got up to $185. So 2009, 10, 11, 12, 4 years when Bitcoin was below $200 a coin for 4 years. Then it had a spike. In 2012 here of $1,000. Talk about history in the making. That's when I heard of Bitcoin for the very first time. I remember the news talking about Bitcoin just reached $1,000, and I was like, well, wait, what? I didn't buy any at the time. I didn't pay attention, but I remember it reached my radar screen. And then it came back down. First time I mentioned Bitcoin on social media was 2014 in July. You know how Facebook records everything that you say and brings up the history of it? A business partner of mine in Japan was the very first or the only one to have a Bitcoin ATM machine in all of Tokyo in her restaurant. 2014. Now, from here, Bitcoin dropped, and from 2014, it was below $500 all the way until 2016. So a 2-year bear market run. Right now, we're in 1 year before it shot up again. So let's see what this one's talking about. What are they predicting? The crypto market is en route to experience the longest bear market in its 10-year history. As Rand Nooner, the host of CNBC's Crypto Trader, said, if the latest bear market lasts for another month, it will surpass the 420-day correction the crypto market experienced from 2014 to 2015. But wait. Well, let me look at this again. 2014 to 2015, when did it spike up? Went to 400 in 2015. What's he talking about? It was still there in 2016. Well, I think that's what he's saying. All the way to $680 July of 2016. Then it got to 700 at the end, November, December 2016. So this isn't accurate. It wasn't just 420 days. It lasted a whole nother year longer than that. But let me just read. Chill out, Brandon. If this bear market continues for another month, it will be the longest bear market in crypto history. 2014, 2015, 420 days. 2018, 2019, 390 days. What is triggering the crypto bear market to extend across 2019? In 2017, the cryptocurrency sector experienced its greatest ever bull market, The Bitcoin price surged from less than 1,000 to 20,000 at its peak, while other major crypto assets in the likes of Ethereum and Ripple recorded 200-fold gains within a 12-month period. Prior to December 2017, when the cryptocurrency market achieved an all-time high valuation at over $800 billion, Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin suggested that the valuation of the market is not sustainable due to the lack of progress made by both base blockchain protocols and decentralized applications. He said at the time, so total crypto coin market cap just hit $500 billion today. But have we earned it? How many unbanked people have we banked? How many dApps have we created that have substantial usage? Low added value per user for using a blockchain is fine, but then you have to make up for it in volume. The answer to all of these questions is definitely not zero, and in some cases, it's quite significant, but not enough to say it's $500 billion levels is significant. Not enough. I agree with what he's saying. I agree with that. However, it wasn't lack of adoption that brought the price down. It was market manipulation. Since then, the valuation of the crypto market has fallen from $500 billion to $119 billion by well over 76.2%. From its all-time high, the cryptocurrency market dropped by 85%. The recent crypto bear market is likely going to be the longest correction in its history because of the level of awareness the asset class gained at its peak in 2017. Many new retail investors and individual traders entered the crypto sector at its highest point and recorded substantial losses in a short period. That's true. Vinny Lingham, a venture capital investor and the CEO of Civic, said that it may take a long time for investors to psychologically recover from the bear market, which may contribute to the time frame of the correction throughout 2019. In November 2018, Lingham stated, I think it stays in the range between $3,000 to $5,000 at least for 3 to 6 months. I don't think we break through the support level of $3,000 just yet. I think there is a lot of buying in the short term around that mark. If we don't get out of the crypto bear market cycle in the next 3 or 6 months, the $3,000 level could go. Let me read that again. I think it stays in the range between $3,000 to $5,000 for 3 to 6 months. I don't think we break through the support level of 3,000 just yet. I don't know. I think there's a lot of buying in the short term around. There is a lot of buying. That's true. If we don't get out of the crypto bear market cycle in the next 3 to 6 months, the levels could go. That's true. So he's predicting if we don't break out of the $3,000 mark in the next 3 to 6 months, it'll drop below 3,000 before coming back up. 2019 is set to be a boring year. Depends on for who. Analysts generally perceive 2019 to turn out to be a boring year for investors with a low level of volatility and a lack of breakouts above key support levels for major crypto assets. If the crypto market remains in the $100 to $400 billion range in market cap by the end of February, it will officially be the worst and the longest bear market in the history of the asset class. That is not true. It went all the way through almost to the end of 2016. So whatever. Who cares about the facts, right? That's why knowing your own education is important. Why you need KGX. You can read that and say, what's he talking about? I can look at the market. The market it's telling me right now. I'm looking at the charts all the way through 2016. What's he talking about? All right, guys, that is it for Early Morning Crypto Talk. I just thought of something. I am not going to do a late night crypto talk tonight, but I will be broadcasting. I'm going to be doing personal development and self-improvement tonight in our KGX only members group that will have crypto tied in it. How to be a professional. See, when the market is, as that article says, is boring, then you've got to switch your focus on growing in other areas until the market it comes back around again. You can put your focus back on it. Personal development and self-improvement. How to be a professional in the crypto space. That's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern tonight, 6 p.m. Pacific, in our private KGX community group. I'll be sending out an email to my team and let them know. So if you have been looking for personal development, self-improvement, then you want to come back out It's not going to be on YouTube. You've got to be a member of KGX. If you are not a member of KGX, get back to whoever's showing you this or how you stumbled upon this. Ask how to become a member. It costs $300 one time, and you're a member. I'm expecting an exciting week this week with announcements on our Forex side. Announcements. I think there's going to be some movement from Green, and we also have our Seattle boot camp this Friday and Saturday, and then we're marching to Atlanta, February 22nd for the Atlanta Bitcoin boot camp. So I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy Martin Luther King Day. Special day for myself. You can see on my Facebook page. I'm a Morehouse man as well. And if anything, learn today to have empathy. I know we are living in divided times. Everybody is very passionate about what they believe. And you have every right to believe whatever it is you believe, whether I agree with it or not. That is your right. So no matter what you believe, at least always remember to have empathy for those that don't agree with you. Make it an attempt to try to put yourself on the other side's shoes. My old debate coach passed away last year, Chuck Ballingall, said that if you ever want to be a great debater or even just at least a decent human being, just because you believe something doesn't always make it that's the correct way. It's correct for you. Doesn't mean it's correct for everybody else. But make it a point to know whoever you're debating, their point of view, and be able to express it better than your opponent can. One thing that I do pride myself in the ability to do, whoever I'm arguing with or debating against, I can debate their side better than they can. Are you able to do that? Can you put yourself on the other's shoes? Because this is Martin Luther King Day, I will do one example. This may be a little controversial, but I'm going to give you one example because my son asked me a question. And he said, I don't understand that how somebody can hate me just because of my skin color. They don't know me. I'm funny. I'm smart. I love people. So why would they hate me because of my skin color? And it should be a common thing. How can you hate somebody? But if you put yourself in their shoes and you see the world from their eyes and viewpoint, I may not agree, but I understand. Fear. Fear of losing your identity. Fear of thinking your way of life is challenged, is going away. The status quo of how things have always been is changing. And you don't think it's changing in your benefit. In fact, anything that seems to be changed means that I'm losing something. So these people that don't look like me, they don't talk like me, they're not my skin color, are a threat to my way of life and my survival and my privilege. And I don't want to share that or give it up. I feel that we are being wiped out. And if we don't band together and stop things now, life as we know it will never be the same again. Fear. See, the most powerful force in the world is emotion, human emotion. It goes against all facts and reality. Because when the mind is right, the facts don't matter. If you're so emotional to something, it doesn't matter what the facts are. You're going to believe what you want to believe, and there's nobody that's going to change. The only thing that can change that is your own experience, living the life of somebody else. But at the end of the day, it's like, why should I care and live their life? I'm living my life. I'm looking out for my family, my way of life, my people, my culture. And there are threats. I don't want to give up what I have. That's why. And then those on that side that it seems they may lack empathy, oh, they understand it very, very well. Some. There was a woman that I saw, she's a white woman educator. And she was in a room with a bunch of white students, and she asked them this. For those of you who say that racism doesn't exist anymore, that why should you care because you didn't have any slaves and you didn't discriminate against anybody that happened 100 years ago, why it should matter to you? Raise your hand if you would trade being white for being black based on the treatment of Americans in America today. Not a single hand was raised. And she said, and because you don't raise your hand tells me you do understand that there is systemic racism and discrimination and that we are not living in a fair world. We are not living in equality. Just because you don't see racism doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So on this day, I just want everybody to reflect in the United States that we are all Americans, regardless of race, color, and creed. We all have the same goal of having a better life for ourselves and our families. We all share in our values. And what makes us different is what makes this country great. That is why America has been dominant for the past 70 plus years. Our diversity, our system, and also remembering that our system is not treating everyone the same. And instead of attacking those who speak out against it, reflect on why they're speaking out in the first place and see if there's something that could be changed. As Dr. Martin Luther King says, evil happens when good men do nothing and remain silent. It is not the victims that's going to change the system. It is not the racists that are going to change the system. It is those who believe that everybody should be treated equally, yet do nothing about it because it's not impacting them directly. Those are the ones that change the system. All right, enough of my preaching. Hope you learned something new. I will be back tonight for special KGX meeting only in our members group. Everybody have a great day. God bless. Bye-bye.